I hope you're having an amazing day. My name is Colin. In this video, we're going to have a look at Tiny Colony. Nothing in this video is financial advice. It is for entertainment purposes only. Tiny Colony is a blockchain game coming soon on Radium. The Tiny token is already live. It's on Solana. They are doing a big NFT sale, and that's why I'm aware of this project. I see it coming up on Twitter all the time. All the guys that I'm following are interested in this one. It's not really my style, the pixelated version, but I am quite intrigued to see if this is a fun project with some potential. I have the pitch deck open, which is quite elaborate, 30 slides. So it's like a tiny version of a white paper, which we will review. Then we'll look at the token as well and the NFTs to see if this project has potential. Tiny Colony Metaverse, an expensive pixelated ecosystem on the Solana blockchain, deck version 2, which was published 6th of January 21. That's a long time ago. Maybe it's the other way around, 1st of June 21, if it's like American standards. Tiny Colony is the first ever construction and management simulation blockchain game. In the Tiny Colony Metaverse, players can build and grow advanced ant colonies. So it makes sense, the name makes sense, Tiny Colony. Defend their bases against dark forces that roam the underground, challenge other colonies to battle, form alliances, and trade with one another to participate in large-scale community events. Players will be able to attend community-wide events such as community quests, battle arenas, gladiator fights, tiny wars, tiny slots, and much more. Tiny Colony is an all-encompassing metaverse with limitless opportunities for expansion. All right, that's quite cool. Let me see if I can look at that a little bit better. So basically, the Tiny Colony, it allows players to start building a colony without requiring any NFTs. Okay, so this game is free to start. Players are able to enjoy the construction and management simulator elements of Tiny Colony by building a basic set of cells and interacting with the base game characters in the training grounds. Beyond, the plethora of NFTs are available for players who want to maximize their experience and participate in community events in the Tiny Colony Metaverse. NFTs can be purchased using Tiny Bits, that is the Tiny native token, which is already launched and on CoinMarketCap right now. NFTs can be upgraded using Teeny Bits, and Teeny is the in-game currency, which can be earned in-game by running an effective and efficient colony. All right, so here we have what the game looks like. It's quite simplistic, but it is with ants, and it is basically colonies under the ground. It's quite funny, actually. It's quite unique. It's not something that I would have expected. It sounds like a funny game, definitely. So the NFTs come in a lot of different variations, from characters to colonies, XP boosters, cells, powers, theme packs, deco, vehicles, pets, collectibles, tools, devices, customization, base defense, potions, runes, and quests. All right, that's quite interesting. Okay, so how does it actually work? Build and grow your colony, earn Teeny. That's the in-game currency. Assemble an army with NFTs, spend Tiny in the marketplace. All right, so you have to purchase with the token, defend the base, spend Teeny to repair base, player battles, earn Teeny and loot, quests, earn Teeny and NFTs, community events, wager Teeny, and upgrade NFTs, spend Teeny. Alright, so basically everything is on in-game mechanics, on the in-game economy with the in-game token, except the start of your army. It sounds like a little bit pay to win. If you have a lot of money, you can spend a lot of Tiny, make a huge army, and then destroy everybody. But let's see how that works. So there's some history, we're gonna skip that. I'm not really into the lore anyway. Different characters that are available, all right, that's quite interesting. So basically, they have a full setup and their expansion sets as well that go into basically making your ants characterize samurai, Persian Empire, Vikings. I think it gives some theme to your ant army, right? A little bit of branding purposes as well. So the different events are the Gladiator Arena. So the Gladiator Arena allows players to go head-to-head with one of their high-level NFTs against other players. The winning players rewarded with loot and a large amount of Teeny Bits. The losing player will lose some of their NFT's experience points. Okay, so you're not really going to lose your NFT altogether. Other players can participate in the Gladiator by watching the event and placing bets. All right, so the gambling mechanic is obviously quite interesting. So Battle Arena, all right, squads of 5, they're NFTs. against waves of dark creatures, so that's the PvE component. Tiny wars, join forces, trade. Tiny slots, mini games, that's like a little gambling as well. And then a theater, you can pay a admission ticket to watch an animated short film based on fast history of Tiny Colony. Okay, I don't know if that's interesting at all, but whatever. All right, roadmap, execution. So this is already done. The Tiny token is already live. Early access to the game, colony, sale, virtual land, that's occurring right now. Then next quarter, they're going to release the PvP. So this is basically where the game goes live, I assume. The NFT drops, game content drops, right? So they're going to drip the content, as you can see. And every quarter, they're going to make some money with NFT drops to, I assume, fund the development of these stages. And then thereafter, you have monthly game updates. So it's extremely basic. It sounds basic. Maybe it's very difficult, but it sounds basic to me. The Tinyverse Beyond. All right, so there's some long-term roadmap. Then you have the anime style, the art that it's based on, okay? The land is basically where you build out the elements, right? It's not really a metaverse, it's just a game. They call it a metaverse, but whatever, it's like a hype term right now, right? Colony functionality, governance, staking, earn rent and tax, enhanced trade, all right? Rarity properties, okay? Unique gameplay and story lore, different colonies, passive rewards, in-game bonus and rewards. Okay, so the colony type, all right, so this is number of colonies. So these are basically in Solana priced, and I think the Spirit Hotspot is the biggest one. It's cost 25 Solana. So they're extremely affordable, I would say, because 25 Solana at this point is like 2.5K. So that's not that big of a deal. And there's only 100. And the nests, there are 5,000. So it's definitely a tiny, it's not like they're going to raise 100 million with this, right? But definitely a lot of low barrier of entry colonies available. So that's good for the mass adoption, I would say. Bonus items, tiny scraps, basic starting in-game materials, tiny packs, lucky draw 50 of the colonies, okay. 5 of the 100 spirit will contain spirit gems, which can be sold as a mythical NFT or used to generate free teeny. All right, and you get more scraps. Okay, that's quite funny. Then you have the tokenomics, which obviously are very important. It is already launched, right? So public only 1.1, highly under private, team 15%, quite low, advisory 4.5, marketing 5, liquidity 5, ecosystem. So definitely the players in the ecosystem take the highest bunch. They didn't raise that much money, it appears, but actually the IDO token price was 0.36. Initial market cap was quite high at 1.6 million. Which is a lot higher than I would have expected for a project like this, but the public sale at 50% TGE, and there's only 2 months, so that's basically almost all filtered out already, I assume. And then the TGE for private, that's basically where the longer vesting comes in. They have a cliff as well. Then the players, they have a cliff and a longer duration, and everything else looks quite good. I just want to see when this was actually launched. This was launched 1st of January. So that was the TGE, and then the second vesting was released the 5th of February, where there hasn't been any significant drop. Obviously, the price has dropped quite significantly. So $2. So they did a really good return. At right now, I think it's still quite good news that they are at least profitable still for their investors. You see a lot of these projects, they are, well, at least the private has still a 2x. Because of the recent crash, right, of Bitcoin, you can see the volume has gone down tremendously. There's only 5K volume, almost nothing on the token, just on Radium. However, this does show tremendous potential, in my opinion, if we're just looking at the tokenomics as is, right? I have not looked at this game before, so we'll have to check out Twitter and everything else for the announcements coming through. But this does look quite good, in my opinion. Just take into consideration the vesting that still needs to be released from the private, which will most likely be dumped, right? But the TGE amounts seem to be quite good, definitely. So the vesting schedule, tiny NFTs are following rarities. Okay, that makes sense. They have different characters, right? And then the rarity and the component sets, and it makes them look different. There's some sneak peeks, and there's some information on the team. So They do have their first and last names. Let me see on the website if they actually have their LinkedIn and everything connected. So one of the advisors is from Star Launch and Card Starter. I'm not really a fan of Star Launch myself. Advisor from Illuvium, so I'm very bullish on that advisor, so to say. And the game studios, iLogos, will be providing Tiny Colony with a full game team that has, okay. So iLogo Game Studios, they partner with EA Games, very, very big names, right? Definitely interesting. So Solana, Unity, Star Launch as partners. All right, so the pitch deck is quite good. The token position at the moment, I think, is quite good. They are doing a pre-sale whitelist public colony sale on Fractal. So Fractal is definitely a new up-and-coming NFT marketplace. I've been spending quite a lot of time on it recently. And these nests, right, are being sold for 0.42. So the biggest ones, they're definitely being flipped, right? So if we looked at the pitch deck, what these were actually going for, I think it was 0.1 or 0.2 Solana. Let me see. So 0.5 Solana, all right. And now they're being pitched for 0.45, all right. So they're below the actual listing price. That's a little strange. There's not really a good indication, but let's see what's going on there. So I want to filter on the Spirit hotspots. So they're 32 Solana, so they're definitely higher priced than the initial launch. And some of, they're only like a couple for sale, 32, 33, 33, and then it goes up quite rapidly. Persian Empire, those were, oh no, I need to Scientist Outpost. Scientist Outpost. Those are like 4 Solana at the moment. Those were actually 5 Solana. So basically the Spirit hotspot is the only one holding its value. Then we have Sorcerer Hideout at about 5 Solana, sitting at about 4.89, and then you got a 5 floor and then 6. So definitely there are a lot more of these. So if the floor is being swept, then swept and it's gone, then basically that's it. When we look at the sales volume, definitely people are active on this, right? Nests are actively being purchased for below the IO price. You got some Viking Mountains. What's that? Viking Mountains, 2.5 Sol, now going for 2 Solana. People probably need liquidity with the current market. People are scared of the Bitcoin volatility, and other people are taking advantage of this, who see a longer term vision in Tiny Colony. All right, we looked at all these metrics, so that was quite nice. But there's no team displayed and no LinkedIn, so they do have their first and last name, so you can definitely look at that. They have Merit Circle on their listing as well, so they do have a connection with a guild already to get adaptability, I assume, or playability for players. If we head over to their Twitter, they have about 32k following, not that big, but they partnered with Fractal, right? iLogos and Merit Circle, so they have a good foundation, it appears. Okay, we've decided to use 50% royalties accrued for the first 24 hours secondary to sweep the floor. Colony swept will never be relisted by Tiny Colony. All right, I don't know if that's a good idea. It sounds a little bit desperate. So they did do the full mint, so that's good. Colony mint is over. All remaining colonies have been burned. Okay, so they didn't sell out. That's also not a good indicator. So people are selling below floor, below mint price, and they're burning colonies that haven't been sold. That's not really that good news. I just want to know how many were burned. So they did post a lot of announcements. So they did a whitelist sale and they did a public sale. So Spirits sold out. Okay. Whitelist sales live. So probably the whitelist sale got fully minted, but the public did not. So maybe there's a price difference there. And they're sweeping the floor. I don't know if that's always the best idea. Makes me a little bit less bullish right now. I really like the white paper just for a basic point of view, but the token at least is in a really good position. So if it gets a little bit more adoption, then definitely it has potential. If we look at the Discord server, how many people are involved there? About 30,000, so that's decent, of which 3,000 online, so that's a good ratio. And then they don't have any Telegram. Let me just go to Medium. So 1.7k followers, that's quite good. Definitely. No, there doesn't appear to be a Telegram link, at least linked here. But the main focus then is on Discord and Twitter, where they do seem to have a realistic amount. When we look at the actual engagement on these posts, it appears to be somewhat decent, right? It's definitely not high. There's definitely a lot of bot followers. The engagement is quite low, but it's better than no engagement at all, right? So they do have some likes, some retweets going on, especially on the bigger announcements. You see some over 100 likes, but with a 30K following, that's a little bit on the low end, so to say. Would I make a move on Tiny Colony right now? I don't think so. I think with a 2 million market cap, I would really have to see if the volume is going to pick up. Now it has been minted, right? I will keep my eye. Actually, I will put it on the list because it does sound interesting, right? It does sound interesting, definitely. So I will definitely keep my eye on this. I will definitely. Is that a white paper actually, or will it link to the pitch deck? No, I think it links to the pitch deck. That's not even working anymore. I will definitely keep my eye on this for the long-term potential. If you have any insights that I didn't cover about Tiny Colony, please let me know in the comments down below. It might be helpful for my research when I make a follow-up video on Tiny Colony. So far, I'm not going to participate right now. I'm not truly convinced. I think I need to do some more in-depth research. But let me know what you think about Tiny Colony in the comments down below, and I'll be sure to take that into consideration. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.